hello enemies and book lovers, my name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. We are here for my March wrap up. So let's discuss what I read in March. I think March is probably like the best reading month I've had in a long time, probably within the last year or more. But I read 3,105 pages, which is over an average of 100 pages a day, which for me is really good. Honestly, didn't expect to actually read that much in March, but I read a lot and I'm very happy with that. In regards to my ratings, like I mentioned, I DNF'd 4 books, which isn't ideal, but that's okay because I gave a lot of good ratings for March. I gave 1 book 5 stars, 4 book 4 stars, and 2 books 3.5 stars. So the lowest rating I gave was a 3.5 and the highest is a 5, which for me, if you know, is very difficult for me to do because I do not give 5 stars very often. So let's go over the books I read. I'm going to do it in order of what I read first to last, but first let's go on to our illustrated books just really quickly. I only read 1 volume of Black Butler. I think I read volume 24, I believe, and I'm just continuing the series. I should be continuing it still, but I've been a little bit slacking on it, I'll be honest with you, because I don't have the volumes right now with me. But I should be continuing the series of Black Butler because I'm almost caught up to it, which would be fun. So I want to do that because I'm already at the end of it, might as well continue it. I also read volume 2, 3, and 4 of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. I have the physical edition for the first volume, thank you to Jessica. And I finally continued the rest of the series, well, the next 3 volumes. And actually I had a really good time reading that. I read all of this within the span of like 2 hours. And I did this for the Peace Talks. I enjoyed my time reading this. I am kind of liking it. It's like a Hades Persephone kind of retelling of Greek myths and stuff. This is a fun series. I'm enjoying my time reading it and I want to continue it at some point, but we'll see when that happens because we'll find out. I'll find out. It took me years to even continue this, so we'll see what happens, but I did enjoy my time reading this. With those ones aside, let's talk about the novels I read. So I read 4, as you can see, illustrated books, but I read 7 novels, which for me, again, is pretty good. I DNF'd 4, so I actually read a few pages within that. So all the page counts kind of come together, even with my DNFs. I'm only gonna talk about one of my DNFs because the other 3 are for a video project. So I will talk about the first DNF that I had in March. This was unfortunately for the Sons of Echidna. This is by Athena M. Bliss, and I DNF'd this at 32%. So I got 143 pages into this before I DNF'd it. I actually really enjoyed the premise of this. This is about Lucy. She goes to like this mansion and supposedly the person there needs to have their children or like their pets babysat. And so she goes there for a job to babysit children and realizes that this is not a place for children. This is a place for magical beasts. So there's like different types of animals. There's like a kraken in the water that she meets really early on. And there's these like hellhounds that she meets. And I really like the concept of it, her having to take care of these elemental and these enchanted animals. But it wasn't really working for me very well. I really like that there's illustrations in this book. There's illustrations throughout it and it's really well done. It's very beautiful. There's even illustrations of every single character. It's really cool. But it wasn't really working for me. The characters felt a little bit flat in my opinion, and I didn't feel invested in anything. It felt like it was just like too little for me to kind of keep myself hooked in, and so I wasn't really interested enough to continue this. I did like a lot of the concepts though. Reading this didn't feel like there was any smut. It does eventually have it, and I think it's polyamory, I'm not entirely sure. Like the concept, like the illustrations, just didn't really like the book itself. The next book I read for March was Grown. This is by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a contemporary standalone following a 17-year-old teenager named Enchanted. Enchanted wanted to be a singer, and so she does an audition, and unfortunately it doesn't really work for her, but she catches the eye of Corey, who's a 28-year-old artist who takes her on to kind of help start her musical career. And as you can probably imagine by the ages, at 17 and a 28-year-old, it could have been a good relationship, but unfortunately Corey isn't a great person. This book was actually really hard to read. It was very difficult at times. I had to put it down a few times in March and I had to just like wait until my mental health was a bit better to read it. This is so difficult to get through. This talks very heavily on grooming. It talks heavily, obviously, on she's underage. So her being groomed by a 28-year-old while she's 17 years old and forced to do things. So there is SA, there is DA, there is a lot of different variations in this book, so very careful going into this because it was pretty difficult to read. Enchanted felt like a real person. I really liked her as a person and I felt so badly for her, and I know that this happens to people in real life and especially young girls in real life, and it was so difficult to get through because of that, and I had just a hard time at times, but I think it's a very important read and I think it's really well done. I give it a 4 stars. I really liked my time reading it. It was YA, so it doesn't go into very deep details, but it still goes into enough that is pretty difficult at times. I like this book a lot. I think Tiffany D. Jackson is an amazing author. I've loved everything that she's written so far. I've liked. So I'm hoping that in the future when I read more of her works, I will also enjoy those. The next book on this list is Nemesis Games by James S. A. Corey. This is the 5th book in the Expanse series. There's 9 books total, without the novellas in between, but there's 9 main books and I'm on book 6 now, so I'm about to get to book 6. That means I'm over halfway, which I'm so excited about because I started the series at the beginning of last year and I'm doing a pretty good job getting through it. I think they're all under 700, but they're all above 500. And so this is a very long series, but I'm loving my time reading it. This book, Nemesis Games, was a little bit tricky for me to get through at times because this one was the first time we have their characters actually separating from one another. So we have the Rocinante, which is the ship from the first book. Like, we have a crew on that ship and we follow them throughout the series. And this is the first book where we actually see them being separated and they're all like doing their own thing and kind of just like experiencing their own backstories and kind of getting to know them more as characters. And I think it was really good in that regard. I love to see them as like characters and individual people, but at the same time, I really missed their dynamic to be together and it just like made me miss that. But there's also like some twists and turns that happened in this book that was mind-boggling. There's also something that happens in this book that is really difficult to read, and it's like a small version of what's happening today in other places of the world. So that was really difficult. I won't talk about what happened though because it is a spoiler, but it really upset me. The fact that people can just make decisions, that huge decisions like that, and they're happy about it, it just really disgusts me. So a lot of big things happen in this book, a lot of individual things with every single character, and I really liked that. But I'm excited for the next book because I'm pretty sure everyone's together again, and that makes me happy because I really want to see them again. I also have some new characters, of course, old characters, of course, and loving my time reading the series. I'm loving it, so I'm excited to continue it and see what happens in the 6th book. I don't know when I'm going to be picking that up. I'm still looking forward to it whenever I get around to it. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I gave this one 4 stars. I'm not sure if I said it, but yeah, 4 stars for Nemesis Games. The next book on this list, I did a whole reading vlog on it, so I will not talk much about it, and that is, of course, The Way of Kings by Ryan Sanderson. This is my one and only 5 stars of the month. Technically, I would say it's like a low 5 stars. It's like barely touching 5 stars, but it still is, okay? It still is. This was so well done. It captured my attention the entire time. People said it was a slog in the beginning, but in my opinion, honestly, it wasn't really much of a slog. I was going through this so fast. I was loving my time reading it. And when you got to the end, oh my god, when you get to the end, it is so good. It's amazing. I love it so much. This is obviously like a high fantasy, epic fantasy world. It is incredibly done. There are so many characters, and not only are there many characters in this book, but they are so amazing. I love them so much. I don't even know how to really recap this series. It's so expansive, I don't even know what to say about it. Life, death, sorrow, anguish, happiness, it's just so much within this little tiny book, and I love it so much. Oh, it's not a tiny book, it's a huge book, but you know what I mean. Within this book, you have so many different things, so many different characters, so many different experiences, and I love it so much. I'm already reading Words of Radiance, and I'm loving it already, so I'm excited to see what happens for the rest of the series. The next book on this list is one I had a really fun time with, so I'm not really going to complain about it much. Well, no, there's nothing really to complain about. I gave this a 4 stars as well, and this is Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I heard that it gets a little bit, interesting after this book, or maybe book 3 it is, when things start to go in different directions. But I'm hopeful maybe I'll still like the series. This was more fun. I feel like this is a very good palate cleanser for me because it's not too serious. Like, it's not the best written. I still don't think it's the best written. And it's not the most unique. It doesn't have fresh new ideas. I think I actually called something in book 1 and it hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty sure something happens in book 1 that I literally predicted. I did a reading vlog on reading the first book. I did not talk about this one in any reading vlogs, but I had a fun time with it. This is following Hawk and Poppy. Poppy is a maiden, Hawk is her bodyguard, and he has to kind of keep her safe, but in reality he doesn't really keep her safe. He keeps her horizontal, I guess you could say. I don't really know how else to say it. So that is the most simple way of putting it. But there are Wolven, which are like people that can shift into wolves. There are the Ascended, we have vampires, we have Craven, which are like the corrupt versions of the vampires. And then we have like the high posh vampires, the ones that can go out in the sunlight and still do things that normal people can do, but they still need to drink blood. So we have a bunch of different kind of fantasy, paranormal-esque things in this book, in the series, and I'm really liking it. It's not the most well done. The tropes and the twists and turns are usually pretty obvious in my opinion, but it's still a good time, okay? It's still a good time. I'm enjoying my time reading it. And I'm going to try the 3rd book soon, hopefully, so I can see what happens next before I forget everything. But yeah, enjoying my time with it, so that's fun. Yeah, hopefully I can read this and continue it and see what happens next, because I really kind of am curious. The next book on this list is another 4 stars. There's a theme here. This is All the Lies by S.T. Abbey. Again, this was 4 stars. This was actually my favorite book in the Mine F series. This is the 4th or 5th book in the Mine F series. There's one more after this one, and this one is my favorite so far, because this one has a lot more high stakes, more anxiety when I was reading it, which maybe not a great thing for some people, but I've been kind of waiting for this kind of moment in the entire series, and it finally came to a head, and I was like so nervous, but so much like I was just loving it at the same time, and I liked my time reading it. I liked my time reading this one. Like I said, it's my favorite one. I've been kind of iffy about the series until this book, and so it's really nice to have a book that I actually really liked from the series, so I'm happy with that. I'm planning on finishing the series in April this month, so hopefully I can do that soon so I can like finish the series. I love finishing series, it's so satisfying to me, but I really also want to see what happens next because it's at a pretty high point right now. Very climactic part of the series. Pretty much the climax of the series is happening right now, and I need to know what happens next. This is following a female serial killer named Lana. Lana, I'll say Lana. Lana is trying to off the people that have done her wrong when she was younger, and we have Logan, who is the FBI agent on her case, unknowing that that is her that he's looking for, and it's a very nerve-wracking relationship between these two because they love each other, but she knows what's happening and he has no idea, and he's searching for her without realizing it's her. It's very nerve-wracking. At the same time though, there are very heavy topics in this series. Out of all the books I've talked about today, this one I mean, is the darkest one on the list. It talks about pretty much almost anything you can imagine, almost. So just be very wary of this series. Despite what Lana is doing, I wouldn't say support her, but I feel for her. And I don't want anything bad happening to her because she doesn't deserve it. She's already had enough happen to her. She doesn't deserve anything worse. So anyway, we'll see what happens next, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that will be. So we have 2 books left on this list, so let's talk about them really quickly. The next book on this list is The Silent Patient. This is by Alex Michaelides, and this one I gave a 3.5 stars to. Like I said though, I think I mentioned this already in my TBR video, that I already kind of knew what the twist was, just like a little bit, not completely. I didn't know the entire part of it. I just knew the gist of it. That might have taken away a little bit of the experience for me, so maybe that kind of ruined a little bit of the ending, and you know, maybe I would have given a higher star rating if I didn't know the end. That being said though, I still liked the process of this book. There's some parts I didn't really care for. I didn't think it was like the best ever thriller, and even though I knew that little thing, there's still things I didn't know about the ending of this book, and that still shocked me and, you know, was a twist to me. I know it's very hyped and really beloved, and I didn't think it was a bad book, but I definitely don't think I get what the hype was. That being said, I also don't think it was as impactful because I knew some of the ending, so that is my own fault, honestly. I watched a spoiler vlog on this like 5 years ago. I didn't expect to actually read it, so my bad. So I gave this a 3.5 stars. I think I rounded it to a 4 because I actually did enjoy it when I was reading it. This is following 2 characters, mostly, at least. This is Alicia. Alicia is found with her husband's body and a gun nearby, and so she's taken into a psychiatric unit, I believe, to kind of get what's happening to her because she's not speaking. So she's completely mute at this point, and she does not want to speak, and they cannot question her, they cannot get any information out of her, and so they put her in a unit to kind of see if they can help her, because obviously it seems like something's happening psychologically with her, and so they have to talk to her. In that comes Theo, who is her psychiatrist or psychologist. Now I feel like I'm dumb for not knowing what the names are and the terms are, but whatever. But Theo is kind of actually the main character of this book, which is surprising to me. I didn't know that. And so we're actually following Theo in almost his POV in third person, going to different people, asking questions, and trying to speak to Alicia and have her speak to him. And I actually found that to be really fascinating. I liked it. Although at the same time, I kind of wanted Theo to shut up. But at the same time, I still liked it. There was a twist that I did predict that was on my own, and I actually was pretty proud of it. I got it to around like the halfway mark when I started to think about it, and I was actually happy that I actually got it right. So that made me happy. I was still surprised about some things though. I liked it, like I said, overall. Didn't think it was like a favorite. It wasn't as good as I expected it to be, but I still think it was a good book. I gave it a 3.5, around it to a 4. So 3.5 is actually pretty good, pretty solid. I think that's like my average rating I give anyway, so don't come at me. And the last book on this list was my ARC that is going to be releasing on May 6th, and that is Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame, and this is by Neon Yang. I also gave this a 3.5 stars. I actually quite liked it, especially the beginning of the book. I really enjoyed the beginning. The ending was still enjoyable, but it felt a bit fast and rushed because obviously it's a less than 200-page book. It follows 2 characters. We have Yeva. She is a dragon hunter kind of, and then we have the opposite side, which Eva goes and visits, and then we see there is Suki. She is kind of like one of the royalty. I think she is either the queen or the princess of the other kingdom. Her people are more people that kind of sanctify and protect dragons, and so it's a really cool, interesting relationship because they do end up becoming a couple, and so it's a very interesting dynamic. Eventually things happen later on in more of the later half of the book. The beginning, it's more of like a tiny bit of world building, learning about the characters, and it's really interesting. interesting. I think it was really cute and simple and fast. I enjoyed it. I think this would have been obviously better if it was a bit longer, I think, in my opinion. It felt a bit rushed at the end, especially in the middle, but I still liked my time reading it, gave it 3.5 stars, and I actually quite liked it. I am looking forward to Neon Yang releasing this on May 6th and hoping for the best and hoping that they have a great, successful release date. So those are all the books I read in March. Of course, I'll put it up here, all the ratings and the page count I had for March. Again, a very successful month for me, probably the best month I've had in a long time, probably over a year now. I'm really happy with that. It doesn't feel like April is going to be in that direction, unfortunately. I'm not feeling like that really high mood to read right now. It's really annoying, but whatever. I'm really glad at least in March it happened, even though it's not happening right now. And hopefully again, it will happen in the future because I really like to read. I really like to want to read. So hopefully that will happen again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Let me know what your favorite book or your least favorite book in March was. So right now it's raining, so if you have anything to say, put like any type of rain or water emoji in the comments below, like a rain cloud, thunder, lightning, water, I don't know, whatever you want to put down below, because it has been really rainy lately. Although it has been snowing lately, which is disgusting. We don't want that in April. With that, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Have a great reading month in the March of April. Have a great reading month in April, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye, everyone.